Hello everyone and welcome to the Millen Sharma Show, a show discussing a variety of subjects through the lens of civil discourse. I'm your host Millen, and today I'm going to be talking to you about why you should not tie yourself of satisfaction and happiness and emotional well-being to a sporting event of viewership. So if you're watching a sport and your favorite team wins or your favorite team loses, you should not attach your emotional well-being to the outcome of that event. Let me tell you why. So last night, this is from personal experience for me. Last night I was watching Super Bowl. And for those of you who don't know, the Super Bowl is one of, if not the biggest sporting events in the United States. Every year in February, two sports teams from the National Football League, the American football teams, compete against each other. Two of the best of the best of both conferences. And they played till the end. And this year, my favorite team was playing in it. And they lost, which was sad, but, it is what it is. Sports is sports. Things happen. And while watching it, I noticed that some people were so sad, so disappointed, and they let their emotions of sadness with their favorite team losing affect the company that they're with. So let me give you an example. I'm not saying you can't be sad or disappointed, because I was disappointed when my favorite team lost. But I did not let my sadness or my disappointment in my team losing affect how my relationship is with my grandmother, with my mother, with my father, with my cousins, with my aunts, or with my uncles. See, for me, so what my family does traditionally every year is we come together as a family, an extended family as well, and we watch a football game together. And American football is such a key part to American culture with so many people. Not everybody, but with so many people. Even if you don't like football. Many of my family doesn't watch football so intently, but we always come together to watch it together, or at least be with each other's company. And when you allow the loss or the outcome of a score affect how you communicate with your cousin who you love so dearly, and if you don't speak to them, if you can't have a conversation about more important things beyond football, beyond a sport, such as relationships, goals in life, how one is doing in their job, how their satisfaction is with certain key relationships in their life. Important questions about this. Being able to meet up with each other about vacations and all these things. If you don't discuss these things because your favorite team loses or you don't get the outcome that you want from watching entertainment, that to me is a huge problem with focusing solely on the outcome of the score and not allowing yourself to move on from that and communicate with the people you love in your life. Because so many times, many of us fixate ourselves on the outcome of a score and the outcome of a team that we lose focus on our own life. For example, many people participate in heavy alcohol consumption, eating massive amounts of junk food. People do that to such a high degree that they find themselves lacking in their own physical and mental health. And for what? For watching other people who work themselves hard, so hard. And they're not doing any of those things, and yet we're doing those things. The viewers are doing those things. So anyway, I'm getting a little sidetracked here, but the key for me is, the key of this video is that you should not tie your well-being to the outcome of a sporting event that is solely for entertainment. Now, I'm not saying, do not confuse this with satisfaction in doing sports yourself, or participating in sports yourself, or training for sports on your own. Because I believe that doing sports on your own is a great way to collaborate for like social skills, teamwork ability, pushing yourself mentally and physically to your best, and challenging yourself to be the best you can be. And I think sports is one of the safest, well, depending on the sport, but one of the least riskiest ways to do that in this life. So I believe you should do those things. But my focus is solely on viewing sports as entertainment. And sports in itself is only for entertainment purposes when you're watching sports. But people get so tied into it that they let it affect relationships in their romantic relationships, familial friendships, all these things, and they let it get in the way. And my point is, you should use sporting events to come together rather than to be apart, rather than to be separated from each other. So I viewed, even though the team I liked lost, I viewed the time I spent with my family, my grandparents who are getting older in age, as a chance to communicate with them more and to bond with them. Because you don't know when you're going to have these opportunities again. And so many times we take advantage of all these opportunities, but we don't fully embrace the opportunities that we have. So, for example, if you're together with your friends, and let's say you get together once a month, or you're together with them once in 2 or 3 months, and you kind of just you joke around and you don't talk too much, and then next thing you know, you're not meeting them as often anymore. And you take advantage of you take it for granted. You take the time for granted while you have it, and when you don't have it, you realize what you're missing out on. And that's why I believe that any conflicts you have with certain people in your life, any type of animosity that is brewing, should be talked through. If a solution is possible, it should be talked through, because with these relationships, you don't know when the time is ticking. You don't know when the time is done. With my grandparents, I don't know when the time is done. They're getting older in age, and I'm going to enjoy every minute I have with them. And that's my goal. But I'm getting a little sidetracked again. So that's my whole point. With sports, you have to view it as just entertainment when you're watching sports on television. And do not get tied into it emotionally for your satisfaction, because sports and entertainment it's a business. It's a business, and you can make it into whatever you want it to be. There's all these things with gambling. There's all these things with drinking, selling clothes, selling apparel. There's so many things that are tied to it business-wise, and you have to view it as a marketing type of strategy and entertainment only, and not tie yourself to it completely. With all those things in mind, I'm your host, Millen. Thank you so much for tuning in.